Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for your time today and welcome.
Thank you.
So I was just talking about how you're a member of Confident Copywriting, and I'm going to be asking you questions about your experience. But first, I would love it if you could introduce yourself to everyone.
Yeah, so I'm Stephanie Tilton, and my business is Stephanie Tilton Copywriter. I am a copywriter and launch strategist for female business owners who want to sell more courses and programs and even service packages online.
Awesome. I love that niche. I love how specific it is. That really helps you target who you're going after. So what was happening in your life and in your business when you decided to join a coaching group like Confident Copywriting?
Yeah, so I think I've been a member now for like a year. But last year, before I joined, like I was really just kind of all over the place. I was trying to do a lot of different things to figure out what I really wanted to do as a copywriter. And I was just a little bit overwhelmed, to be honest, and kind of confused. I wasn't really sure of myself. Back then I was really bad about lowering my price and just chipping away little bits and this and that, just so I could kind of, get clients and things like that. And then I found that I was spending a lot of time for very little money and all that kind of stuff. So I knew I needed to do something just to figure out what I was doing to make sure that I was on the right track, and even knew that I was a good copywriter. So that's why. And then I saw an email from you. I've listened to the Hot Copy podcast for like 3 years now, I think. So I knew of you then, I followed you and all that kind of stuff. But then whenever I got the email about your group, I was like, yes, this is I'm joining right now. No questions asked.
Oh, I love that. And it's been a pretty common theme through the conversations I've been having this week with members about that kind of I was working really hard, but I wasn't really seeing the income back for all the time I was putting in, and that feeling of kind of uncertainty about how to take the next step. So I love that you joined. And what were you looking for from a support group? It's not a support group, really. It's a coaching and community. So what were you looking for when you joined?
Yeah. I was looking for a safe space to ask questions. Because I'm in some other groups. They're not paid memberships. They're just, support groups, I guess you could say. But the problem is that a lot of people will ask a question and then they get some really harsh responses. Or they'll ask for feedback, and the feedback's not that. It's more critical than it is constructive. And that's not really what I needed, because, I take those things personally. I wanted it to feel like it's coming from a good place. And, from following you and just everything that I thought the group would be, I joined just to give it a shot. And it has been exactly that. I don't feel bad for asking questions. I feel like I can share things and I'm going to get what I need from it and not feel bad. No one is ever harsh in the group. It's just like a big family almost,
Oh, I love that. And I get that feeling as well. I love, when the question is asked, sometimes because of the time differences, it might be asked while I'm asleep, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, there's heaps of really awesome replies here. What everyone else said. But sometimes I'm able to add something new as well. So I love how generous everyone is with their experience and their advice. And I really get that vibe as well, how supportive. Everyone wants everyone to do better, which I think is really helpful.
Exactly.
So what have you found in terms of results from being in the group? It might be feeling, it might be money, it might be confidence. How has being in the group for as long as you have helped?
Well, it's definitely number one, it's helped with pricing. Now, we've gone pricing, and so I have now a template I can go in and I can just add in the numbers. I don't have to second guess myself because it's right there in front of me. Mm-hmm. It's also just given me the confidence too, because we do go over, copywriting techniques and things, and just asking the questions, getting feedback hey, you're on the right track. It does help you feel more confident with the work you produce. So then whenever I'm on sales calls, I really do feel I know what I'm talking about, and I can, but the clients get that. I've heard that from people since I've been in the group. That's why they chose me, because they thought that I knew what I was talking about, and that came across. And, I've actually been able to have a consistent, my full-time income that I had before when I was working in corporate jobs, that I've now have that from being in this group, even now with everything that's going on, like I have not slowed down one bit. And I know that it's because of everything that I'm learning.
That's so good. And I love there's a couple of elements there that it's not just pretending to be confident, because there is a certain element when you're talking to clients when you can put on a good front, and sometimes we need to do that, especially when we're going out of our comfort zone. But I love that feeling of certainty that you have within us, because that really does come through to clients. So I love that they're picking up on that, and I love those results. Like that, it's been a bit of a tricky time for a lot of freelancers and business owners right now. So I love that we're already in the digital space and that your business hasn't slowed down. Brilliant. So what do you think the most important attribute of a strong business group is for someone who might be looking, going, look, I need some help, but I don't know who to choose. Like, how do you choose?
I mean, for me, it's really about like the person that's teaching the group, that's leading the group. You have to have that good connection with them. But I think when you get like inside of a group and everything, having some lessons and stuff, but really it's just the people inside the group and how we all come together to help and support each other instead of putting each other down. I mean, that's what I've always looked for in a group. And I totally get that, like from that group. I know that I can go in there and everyone's going to support each other. And we learn from each other too. Like people will share their wins or they'll share things that they're struggling with. And, it kind of helps us all to like learn from each other in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And want to do better because we see, success that everyone else is having. So you kind of like want to keep up with that. But not like in a way like, that makes you feel bad or anything like that. But just,
yeah, that's right. It's kind of, I feel like it's a really friendly, like there's a lot of cooperation and the competition is really friendly, where it's like, hey, I know there's quite a few members who target the same niche and who are in the same country as well. And I love the feeling that there's more than enough work and we can all help each other get better clients, even though we're possibly in the same niche.
Yeah. And like, even there's, other copywriters in the group, and when they have more work than they can handle, they go in and they share like, hey, this just came through. Does anybody want to take this job? And I think that's really awesome that, they're willing to share that with everybody else in the group,
Yeah, I do. I completely agree. So has there been any resources or moments, lessons, worksheets, anything like that you were like, this was a lifesaver. I'm so glad I got this. Was there anything that stands out?
Yes, definitely the pricing. When we did the pricing workshop and the template that you sent, that was a big one, because that was one of the hardest areas for me, is to feel confident and to even like know why I'm pricing things the way that I am, or to think about all the different things that go into that. Okay. And so that was a really big one. And then also, with me doing launches and things, I wanted to feel really confident with sales pages, with emails and things. And we did a lesson on sales pages. And that was a big game changer for me, for just feeling confident that what I had been doing was like on the right track, but here's a way to kind of do it better.
Yeah, that's so good. And like sometimes those resources are complete validation, right? But sometimes they fill the gap. And I love that as well. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, the pricing and sales pages, two really big topics. But I feel like we talk about pricing a lot in the group because there's so much wrapped up in a quote, where it's not just about the numbers. It's about how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our work, how we put a monetary value on that. And then all the kind of ways that we talk to ourselves about money. Like there's so much wrapped up in pricing. And I really love unpacking a lot of that, because even if you have a great template and the proposal looks really schmicky, if you don't believe in yourself, like really actually believe that you can do it, then that will all unravel at the point where you're having that quote and that proposal and that conversation with the client.
Yeah.
So what are you working on in your business right now? Because we're all working on things. New level, new devil is something I like to say a lot. So you've been a copywriter for a while now. So what's the big focus for you?
For me right now, it's really just growing my network, kind of getting out there. We had that lesson that was on kind of putting yourself out there, building your authority online. So that's one of the big areas that I've been trying to focus on a little bit more now. And then also, like, I've kind of redid some of my packages. So getting those processes nailed down to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Those are kind of the two big areas for me.
Excellent, because packages is where you really step up in terms of the amount of revenue that you can generate and stuff like that. And I also want to take this moment to highlight that we did this authority building challenge and Stephanie won it. So she got like a free coaching session from me, but I love the way you really pushed yourself out of your comfort zone during that challenge, because it can be a little bit scary to really put yourself out there and pitch yourself in terms of getting on podcasts and doing posts and just making connections with people who can be a strong influence on your business. So I love that. And you're also the copywriter in the spotlight, the member in the spotlight for this month. So I'm sharing you all on my social media and all that kind of stuff. So you are on the up and up, girl. And I love to see that the work you're putting in. So thank you so much for your time today. If you were going to recommend confident copywriting for a certain type of copywriter, who would that be?
Really for anybody that's just not sure, that just needs a little bit of clarity or just needs some extra support to know that what you're doing, you're either on the right track, or if you're not, you can kind of be pointed, the right way. And just anybody that really just wants like a community to really support you and build you up and help you, along your journey as a copywriter.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Now, for people who are looking to connect with you and to hire you, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, so I hang out a lot on Instagram. My name over there is st_copywriting. I share a lot over there, like fun stories and tips and things. And then also my website is stephanie-tilton.com, and that's where you can learn more about my services and contact me. I have some freebies over there too. So.
Cool. Well, thank you for your time today. I'm going to let you get on with your day, and I will see you in the group very soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Stephanie. Right, well, that was Stephanie Tilton, and she's an exceptional member. She's the kind of confident copywriting member who really digs into the resources and puts them into practice. She connects with all the community members. She asks questions. She answers questions. She helps people, and she gets help. And I'm so pleased to have her as the confident copywriter in the spotlight for this month, which of course means, as I mentioned, I share her across all my social media channels a couple of times a month. She has her own page on my website to promote her business, and she's in the sidebar of my website. So that's one of the perks of being a member. But some of the things we talked about just then are some of the resources. So every month I share over 3 weeks, I will share it could be a copywriting resource or a tutorial about writing. It could be a business builder where I share processes, templates, techniques, advice on growing your business and getting everything locked down. It could be a copy hot seat where members can submit their copy to me for a review. It could be an expert interview. So I'm always getting people coming into the group to share their expertise with everyone. What else is there? So resources, tutorials, business builders, copy hot seats, expert interviews. And then as the fourth piece, I do a live coaching call every single month. And that's when we all get together, and it's basically an AMA. You can ask me anything. But of course, during the whole month, the community goes on in the Facebook group, and that's where everyone really supports each other. And I'm in there all the time. I know member Kirsten Shepherd, she talked about how sometimes quite often, actually, she uses my responses to questions as basically a blueprint on how to tackle that when she gets to that stage. So, there's lots of detailed answers. It's a safe space. It's a non-judgmental community. I love that keeps bubbling up when I talk to members. It makes me really proud of the space. So if you're someone who's feeling a bit lost, who's feeling a bit uncertain, who knows they want to go somewhere, but they just don't know how to get there, or they have an idea, but they want to do it a hell of a lot faster, shortcuts, yeah. They're smart. If that sounds like you, then check out Confident Copywriting. It's open until Sunday US time, which is Monday morning in Australia, so you get a little bit of extra time there. But if you want to get in now, because the price will be locked in and I won't be opening up again until 2020. And of course, 2020, 2021, next year. If you have any questions about the group, concerns, worries, wondering if it's the right group for you, whether you're too early in your career or too late in your career, just let me know. You can email me at belinda@copywritematters.com. You can add a comment here on this Facebook Live. I'm chatting to a lot of people who are wondering if it's the right group for them. They're really excited by joining, but they just want to make sure it's the best investment. And some people are saying, I want to do the copywriting masterclass in August and I want to join this, and I don't know which is a better investment right now. And we're talking about that because it's not going to be right for everyone. There were different stages in the Confident Copywriting Roadmap. You're an aspiring copywriter, stage 1. There are resources for that. You're a working copywriter, that's stage 2. You're a growing copywriter, stage 3. This is when New Level, New Devil really comes into its own. And then you're a stretching copywriter in stage 4, where you are looking for the next step. And there's content for all of those stages. So I'm going to let you get on with your day. I'm going to get on with mine. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll looking forward to welcoming you in the group.